Thank you. How's that? Scott, you were awesome. At the Capitol, we've been bringing this up for a number of years. I have long contended students are getting ripped off. I still remember as a student how much I paid even back in the 70s for textbooks. And as a father of 5 children, 3 still in the system for college textbooks, I see the thousands of dollars that we spend each year. And we have talked about it and made suggestions for task forces, study. Sometimes that's code for let's hope it goes away. The reason we got something done, a couple of key factors. First, was Tommy Rukavina being the chair of the committee, because that meant we're going to have a hearing in the House, and then getting Representative Moe as the chief author in the House who could work with Representative Rukavina. Because in the Senate we've sent overtures. And the overall strategy, though, it was absolutely imperative to have a grassroots network that was led by your organization. And Scott, you did a great job, and whatever awards that you give within your organizations, you should be receiving as well. Because the suits, the expensive suits representing the textbook industry, they're going to wear you down. And you know, Scott, I thought they'd offer you a job. I really did. But you didn't give up. We would have emails 24/7, and I continue to say, we've got to engage your network. And you did, and that's why some progress, very important progress, was made. In fact, the National Conference of State Legislatures, the organization representing various legislative bodies across America, will feature this issue in its upcoming issue, which will be out very, very soon, and they will include the Minnesota example very prominently. I'm honored and proud to be a messenger for you in that behalf. But stay on it and continue to work on those reforms. I pledge to be there with you in any way I can. But ultimately, we're most effective when you get involved at the grassroots level. I just want to mention a couple of other issues. As a member of the Higher Ed Committee, Policy and Funding, as well as the chair, myself, of the Education Policy Committee we're going to be meeting about a lot of different issues and things on my mind that I hope you talk about. Banded credits. In some schools in the system, if you take between over 12 credits from 13 to 18, you pay the same as if you had 12 credits. Why should some schools in MSCSA have that and others not? That's not fair. What do you think? Think about it. That's money. That's real money. There's a strong incentive. If you want to save in very limited dollars, why are students at some schools able to take advantage of that, but not at others? On the cumulative courses that you take, you can save a significant amount of money in doing this. So you add that to textbook costs, and you look at banded credits. Why can't you do that? Some schools in MSCSA allow it, others don't. It should be consistent, and I wish it could be banded credits, so that if you take more than 12, and I know it can be difficult, but if you are able to manage that, up to 18, make it the same. If it's good enough for one school in MSCSA, let it be good for the others. Another item, we're going to follow that technology. Follow the fee, follow money. What's being done with it on your fee? And how is it being spent just in general with the allocations that we make? Follow that closely. It's important, but we want accountability, and you need to ask that too and be a part of that. For online learning, how many have taken an online learning course? And that is increasing, but you pay more. Should you pay? Why is there such a difference, though, in the fee structure from school to school on the online learning? And with technology fees, etc., I could speculate some suggestions, but why should we have consistency in a system? I pose that as something you might want to look at. I'm pleased that they're going to try to get the 120 credit cap if possible, but follow that. And then also ask yourself, for the core credits of the 10 different areas, is there some further in the name of relevance and what's going to get you to a job? Is there anything further that can be done in those requirements? I would suggest that it's not about necessarily protecting everybody's turf, but what's going to best serve you. And I've shared some suggestions with some of your colleagues on doing that. But that has to come from students. Finally, I want us to have what we call a P16 or a P20 system. Preschool through higher ed. Lots of committees and discussions being done, but we need to do a much better job of bridging the learning process. And I'll have a bill, which I hope you'll consider supporting, that will have us formally do that. And part of that's going to look at the PSEO credits, the AP system, whether we have AP system availability for all students in Minnesota. If you're in Arkansas, you have that. You can have 4 courses in AP and pre-AP courses. Why shouldn't all Minnesotans have that? And I'll be talking about that as well, and we have an upcoming hearing. But the whole system of P20, it is wrong for us to have such a need for the remediation that's being done now, and I've seen what has happened, right or wrong, but then when you have to pay, in some cases where it even derails a student's dream from even continuing because of perhaps in math, we need to get much more serious in terms of the programs that are in the K-12 system right now, and I assure you we're very aware of the 40% remedial programs that are going on right now, and also of the financial and human impact that it takes. So those are a few additional items besides textbooks that I'm thinking about. But finally, as you know, we're in an election. Get involved. Doesn't matter what the political party is. Obviously, we have preferences, but just get involved. It's those of you that go to precinct caucus that will be on our radar. Because you're here, you're in a leadership role, but then walk that talk. You have to be persistent, just as Scott was. Never giving up. And be involved in that precinct caucus coming up and get others involved. You saw what a difference it has made and will continue to make on issues important to you. Thank you for the honor. Good luck. May your dreams come true.